Hi, Mayor Mike here. On behalf of Council, I'd like to give you an update on work completed in the second quarter of 2021 as promised before Council went on their summer break. I want to start by reminding you that Council's work is focused on our strategic plan, which can be found on our city website. It also includes video updates and detailed staff reports and several performance dashboards that allow you to see various metrics and data that we use to measure progress on how we're doing on our strategic plan. Let's start this update with some highlights from the corporate services area. I want to start by noting that items I'll talk about in this section are just a few of the highlights in some of the work that we've accomplished in the second quarter. You can find much more detail on this in our staff Q2 update. Human resources continue to deliver a significant amount of work in the city to ensure that we are up to date with the latest public health orders to protect our customers and our staff. Safety is a core value of our organization. We also have a number of key employees reaching retirement age, and our HR department continues to be very busy working on talent assessments, succession planning, and recruitment of new team members who bring their skills to meet Council's strategic plan. Even though it's part of Q3, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge Fire Chief Howard Exner, who served our city for 30 years. Howard started as a volunteer firefighter and he transitioned to a career firefighter when the city's fire department was moved into today's composite model. Howard finished his career at the beginning of September, and on behalf of Council and the community, I just want to really thank him for his many years of service. That seems like a pretty great place to transition to an update on Council's work around community safety. Community safety is more encompassing than you might realize. One of the most important components of our health is safe, clean drinking water that comes from your tap. City's annual drinking water survey has been completed and can be found on our website. In Q2, Council repealed our taxi regulation bylaw, as this is now legislated in the province of British Columbia, and we see the introduction of ride-sharing services in the region, and this is our way of turning it back over to the province. Council also passed legislation to restrict the number of retail vape shops in our community. While we understand that some people do use vape products to help them quit smoking, it's clear that vaping has become a problem amongst our youth, and this move was intended to ensure that Council is doing everything we possibly can to protect the health of our youth. Council continued the work to look at production of cannabis in our community. In the coming months, Council will determine the best way to move forward in our community so that entrepreneurs can take advantage of the opportunities in this growing industry, while at the same time the impact to citizens is ensured it's kept at a minimum. As part of the Community Social Safety Initiative, our CSSI, we passed legislation that to regulate assisted living residences in residential areas. This works in tandem with our recovery supportive housing bylaw, working in conjunction with the provincial legislation. We understand that these facilities can play an important role to help people improve their lives, and the goal is to understand where they're located and to make sure that people in the surrounding neighborhoods are confident that there are no impacts to their lives and to the neighborhoods. Mayor and Council also endorsed an integrated safety ambassador team, acronym known as ISAT. This is the first volunteer program in partnership of its kind in the province of BC, and it's between the city and our RCMP. Police Services built the foundation for a powerful team of community-minded people that will really make a difference. I'm very pleased to report that there are over 20 volunteers that are in our training program, and we look forward to their deployment later this year. The recruitment and deployment of our CSO officers was completed over the summer as well, and this program continues to receive attention from BC communities who are really looking at innovative ways, particularly ours, in the approach that we've been taking to close the gap between private security, law enforcement, and also to ensure that important connections with social service agencies who we work with on the front lines to connect people to the services they need within the community. This move brings us to 7 days a week, 16 hours a day capacity to respond to calls from citizens. Our CSOs conducted 16 crime prevention assessments through the LOCTED program, Lockout Crime Through Design, and the city also approved 8 grant applications at a value of just over $13,000 to support safety for the business community. The city also commenced the Community Safety Strategy public consultation process. In Q3 report, you'll see how this comes about as we continue to collaborate with community partners and senior governments to gather all the input data needed related to RCSSI to identify the opportunities and to improve the services levels where they're needed. Poverty, addiction, and mental health are impacting communities across British Columbia and the country. I want to thank Council for having the courage to try a different approach and to offer heartfelt thanks to all the agencies in the community who have come on board to support our CSSI. At the core of the program, it's a desire to help people and ensure our community has a bright future and is a safe place to live. Council continues to work with various agencies and the province and the federal government to ensure that we advocate for the various things we need, housing solutions across the spectrum of needs, as well as all kinds of management services that we need to ensure that people can connect to get into a better place in their lives. We're also advocating for investment in treatment facilities to help people who decide that they want to make a change on the trajectory that they've been going through in their life. This work is part of our CSSI as well, and it's a very important part of delivering all components of the plan. The subject of housing takes us to our next area update, which is growth. There's a number of components to Council's vision around growth. Let's talk about the progress made on our transportation plan, completed phase 1 of 5 in our strategic transportation plan, and Council approved the Maple Ridge Pitt Meadows area plan. I want to thank Council for their resolve to ensure that Albion was identified as a future transportation hub for transit, and that our concerns around traffic congestion around the Golden Ears Bridge were heard, and that study is in progress as we speak. Staff are in the process of taking a review on the transportation needs around this area, Airport Way 113B Avenue with TransLink as lead, and Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows, Katzie First Nation, and the BC Ministry of Transportation working together to solve that congestion. Work continues on the city's strategic transportation plan. We all know that this is a high priority for our citizens, and we're listening to what people have been telling us. They want these things fixed. The maintenance and expansion of our city's sewer system and integration with Metro Vancouver Water Sewerage Treatment Network is also a critical part of the city's work. I would encourage you to take a look at the staff report for the highlights on the work that has been completed and some of the projects that are coming up. Work continues to make our permit process within our building department more accessible for citizens. The City of Maple Ridge launched a new online permit application guide in April of this year, and the online guide is intended to make it easier for people to prepare their building permit applications. It also provides specific property reference information, as well as zoning and servicing connection requirements, as well as the forms and plans that are required in order to submit an application for your particular project. Over 200 of these guides have been produced and are online. One of the focus areas of the next part of Council's term is economic development, to ensure that we can cultivate employment opportunities for our citizens. In Q2, the Yenadon Employment Lands OCP report received first reading for amendments to convert the Yenadon lands into an employment designation. Before we went on summer break, our community consultation for the economic development strategy started, and Council looks forward to advancing that work. So now let's move on to some highlights from on community pride and safety. I recently toured the new Albion Community Centre just at 104th there off of 240th during Q2. Citizens were treated to regular video updates on this project, and advancements now continue on recreation infrastructure where a number of life cycle works are being finished along with some new inventory underway and or nearing completion. The award for contract for Westview Secondary field resurfacing happened, and we also completed the replacement of playground infrastructure at Westview Park, and the Bell Morse tennis court resurfacing was also completed as well. A couple of big projects include detailed design underway right now for both Silver Valley Gathering Place just down the road from the new community center. The Albion Park Playground replacement also will be taking place with the financial support of senior government in the form of a $140,000 COVID-19 resilience infrastructure grant. Lastly, a practice cricket field was constructed at Selby Park to support growth and the needs of the Ridge Meadows Cricket Association. Q2 saw opportunities for community engagement, including consultation with off-leash dog park at Maple Ridge Park and at Hammond Heritage Character Area. The Hammond Heritage Character consultation reaffirmed the community's desire to retain the heritage flavor of Hammond in the upper area of Hammond, while Maple Ridge Park consultation provided staff with information on improvements to the space, including shade and agility pieces. Many of us on council are pet owners, and we know that our fellow dog owners are very passionate about these public spaces. In Q2 and throughout the summer, there was a return of festival events that are also an important part of our community life. We welcomed back the Haney's Farmers Market back to Memorial Peace Park, and it was great to see the crowds come back and return as the summer went on. This year also saw a second set of Maple Ridge High School students unable to take part in traditional graduation ceremonies. A number of passionate students, agencies, and businesses volunteered more than 120 hours planning and implementing this year's grad walk, which included the BIA, UpPlan, which is a youth-led working group of the youth planning table, the school district, 42, and our local businesses. Grad Walk 2021 saw 224 Street businesses decorate the storefronts representing each of the Maple Ridge high schools that we have here. In addition to volunteering hours, our local businesses provided financial support for this community-minded initiative. So next, let's talk a little bit about natural environment. In Q2, the city completed agrology and environmental reports for the Albion Flats. Findings were presented, and the initial feedback has been received by the Agricultural Land Commission. There are various ministries involved in all of this, Agriculture, Department of Fisheries, Oceans, and several others. And the next steps will be that these are all presented to the Agricultural Land Commission. We look forward to advancing work in this area in the coming months. On behalf of my colleagues on council, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video update. Our Q3 update will provide progress up to and including the end of September. As we return back from our summer break, we have a full council agenda. In the coming weeks and months, we will develop financial and business plans for the upcoming year. And as I've noted before, we've made tremendous progress on community safety, and the next period will see us focus on the work to ensure that we're really doing our part to encourage growth in the areas of employment and really getting people to be able to work closer to home. Promote people to invest in our city as well as diversify our local economy. It is the season of changes from summer into fall, and I hope that you and your family are able to experience our wonderful natural environment, and that we're really, really blessed to have around us every day. Sometimes you need to be able to take a break and get away from those devices and clear your heads and head out into the beautiful Maple Ridge outdoors. School is back, and as the days get shorter, we make sure that we pay particular attention when we're around our school zones, from behind the wheel or however to ensure that our kids are safe. Thank you on behalf of council for taking the time to watch this video. Please stay safe.